Welcome to Board Game Empire. We're going to be showing you an overview and review of Mille Fiori. So this is a game where you're a glass worker. You're trying to get the most points, which is on the outside of the board here, by basically using area majority, pattern building to get the most points, basically. There's a lot of ways to gain points and bonus points and to build on existing points to really score quite a bit in one turn. I mean, we had turns where we were scoring like 20, 25 points in one swoop based on previous tiles we'd already laid. So there's 6 areas. There's the workshops, which has corresponding cards. You notice the cards are the same color as the area. In the workshop, you score 1 point for each of your tokens in a connected group. And you double them if they are the pigment, which are the little ones with the little dots around them. So this one isn't a huge scoring one, but however, if you get the bonus, you would get 20 points. That's how you get a lot of points in this game, by finishing the bonus to get 20 or 15 points, or based on which place you are. The first person gets more points than the next person. So in this one, you have to put your tile on one of each of the 4 icons to get that 20-point bonus if you're the first person. But other than that, you're just scoring 1 or 2 points per tile that's connected in a group. Then you have your residences. This one you can get quite a few points if you do it right. These are this card here, and another thing that makes it easy is they have the character here on the same card, so you know which card goes to which area. So you would place for each of these, when you play this card, whichever you start to the very left, and whichever space is available next is where you would put your tile. If you happen to have existing tiles already there in your color, you score the new one and all of those that are connected before it's broken by a different color. So that's a way to really rack up some points. For instance, on this turn, I scored 21 points. And on this one, the bonus is when you have, as you notice, they each have a number. That's the number you score when you place your tile on that space. If you manage to have 3 different your tiles on 3 different numbers, you get a bonus move, which means you get to choose from one of the cards in the market that are face up to play it, basically get another turn. So you just choose whichever one you want, and you place your tile based on what the card is, and score your points. So it's a bonus turn. There's quite a few opportunities to get bonuses.
Yeah, like right here on this one.
Yeah, I didn't mention that. If you surround one of these bonus spaces right here if you're the last tile to close it in, you get that bonus token. On this one, to get that 20-point bonus, if you're the first person, you have to have, you're covered 4 different numbers. So that's, it takes a while. You have to wait till you get all the way up to this 5. Where is it? That's the first opportunity you would have to do it. So you have to kind of build up to that. Then the next bonus on that one is when you have 5 different numbers covered, you get another bonus move. Then you have the townspeople. These work the same. One's a different color green, but they work the same. You're building pyramids. Your bonuses there are when you get 3 different icons, you'll get the bonus, and they both have the same bonus for each area. And you're just building from the bottom up. Your score is based on which row you are. First row, you get 1 point. Second row of the pyramid, you get 2. Third row, you get 3. No, or is it 6? 6.
Second row, you get 3.
Oh, the second row is 3, sorry. Third row is 6. And then if you close a pyramid, you also get, if you have other color tiles of yours, you get to score those again, plus anyone else that placed a tile in that pyramid would also score on that. If they have the little meeples here, that means others can also score if you place a tile that would normally allow them to score. There's quite a few opportunities in this area and this area to do that. Then there's the harbor and the, what is this called? Trade? I think it's called the trade shops. The trade shops, basically, whatever icon is shown on the card, you could pick any row to cover with your colored piece. When you place that piece, if there's any other diamonds in that column, not only do you score 3 points for each one, they also score 3 points for each one. If you happen to place one, say if I placed one here, Anthony already had 2 red, which we did do this in the game. It's called the helping hand. If they have more diamonds in that column than you who placed the card, who placed the last one, you get a bonus move for helping them out by giving them some points. So that's kind of an incentive to do it. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't do it because you're not going to want to give them more points. The significance of this area is, versus just getting points there, it also helps you get points here when you place there. But the way to get the bonus on this one is to have all 4 icons, and it doesn't have to be in the same row. As long as you have all 4 of the icons covered with your color, you could place a bonus there. The way these tie in together, when you play the harbor card, you choose which one of the ships you want to place your piece on. If you happen to have any of the commodities in that row, based on how many you have, the points go up. If you only have 1 commodity, you would get 1 point per diamond. If you have 2 commodities, you get 3 points per diamond. If you have 3, you get 6 points, and 4, you get 10 points. So you could see how you could really build up the points by placing each, when you place a diamond, you could really rack up the points on that one. And not only when you do place here on the ship, you also get to move your ship down here on this track, and wherever it lands, whatever points are shown, that's what you get. And sometimes you get a bonus move instead of points, which allows you to take another turn. You can also use these cards, any of the cards, to just move the ship. They all have those ship moves on top. However, you don't place the ship token unless you're placing an actual ship card. So you can just use this as just to move your ship if you want to, if you're trying to get to that bonus or to that 10 point. Like say you only needed 1 to get to the 10 points and you had one that came up that has a 1 on it, you're probably going to want to play that unless you're going to get more points using it in its designated area. So it's, in a nutshell, that's a quick overview of the game. In the setup, you're going to be dealing out 5 cards to each player. Each player takes their meeple and their ship in the color they chose, and all 30 of their tiles. They're going to place 3 aside. You may need those later, because the game ends when either the deck runs out or someone has used all of their diamonds. Normally, the games we played, someone uses all their diamonds and it ends the game. We've played in both a 3-player and a 2-player game. And you're just going to go, you also draft cards. You start out with 5 cards, you choose one, pass them, and so that does balance the game because you're constantly getting a new hand each round or each turn. For 5 turns or 4 turns each round. The last card you're going to discard, and then you pass the first player token, and then or card, I guess, just to say this is the first player card, and then that person deals out 5 more cards to each player. You draft and just continue until either that deck runs out or till someone has played all of their diamonds. So, what did you think of this game?
I really like the component quality of the game. I really like the transparent kind of like plastic. The illustration is nice, easy to read, easy to determine like the point structure and everything. The cards are nice and thick. I mean, they could be a little bit thicker, but overall the component's really good. As far as the mechanics, I really like the mechanics, especially I noticed a lot of the games now are doing the hand management, like like this one does, where you get 5 cards and then you pick one, you give it to your opponent. They pick, back and forth, so you're not set with the hand that you get, and that's it. And that eliminates some of the luck factor to it. So I like that aspect of the mechanics. I also like the point salad. There were so many areas to try to get, and also like the first game, I kind of ran away with the win and the points. But the second game, once we figured out, Amanda won, and although she won, it was back and forth. We were going back and forth from the points, who's leading, who's not, and so there is many different ways to come back, even though you're losing, if you know how to play the game. Very strategic type game, and it went fairly. The first game took a while. Of course, we did play 3-player, but we were also learning. The second game was quite fast. What was it, 35 minutes?
Probably, yeah.
35, 40 minutes.
And it was that was a 2-player game.
Yeah, and it was quick. So, and I did enjoy like the different places. There's 4 different options to try to score. Well, technically 5 to score points. So really cool in that aspect. And so I really like the mechanics. Replayability, really high replayability, because each game is different. Like the first and second game, totally different. Especially since we knew more, and it was way more strategic, our movements. So high replayability. Overall total, I'm giving this 8.5. I think this is one of the better point salad games, especially because of the hand management, the way the mechanics works, the 4 or 5 different locations, the multiple ways that you can score multiple points, like here. Just a really fun strategic game that I think a lot of people will enjoy.
So I enjoyed it. I will admit the first game was painful. It really wasn't that fun, and I still like the game because we were playing as a 3-player game. We were also learning, and it was a little later at night when we played it, and so I was having a hard time remembering how you scored on each area. But by the end of the game, we had it down. But
I took advantage of that. I almost laughed them.
Because the cards, there's no player aid, so we had to flip through. That got frustrating, flipping through the book a lot to learn it. Because the iconography didn't mean anything to me on those cards. Once you know it, it totally makes sense. But our second game, we were fresh. We played it this morning, fresh. It was just Anthony and I, and it was way more fun. This game, it just was smooth. It went fast. So when we were playing this the first game, I told him I really like this game. I was telling Anthony, but it's just so painful. I could tell, though, it's one of those games that you would keep in your collection, and it would be one that you would bring out, every few months or so to play, and it would be that just, that it wouldn't be hard to relearn this game, but it would just be one of those classic games that you kind of bring out to play with people that actually already know how to play the game, and that would make it fun because it's very strategic if you're playing with someone that knows how to play the game. It wouldn't be as fun for someone new playing with people that played before, because you would just dominate them, because it does have a slight learning curve, even though it's very simple mechanics. Once you know it, it's very simple. Just digesting all the different ways that you score in the areas, for some reason, it took me a while, quite a few rounds, probably 3/4 of the game before it really was just flowing smooth, and I didn't have to keep looking at the book to remind myself, oh yeah, this is how you score that. So, but excellent game. I would give this an 8, and we will definitely keep this in our collection to play again. We played it with Quentin the first game, and he didn't care for this game. But again, he was playing when we were learning it, so it went slow and it was frustrating. So I think if he had given it another chance and played it again, he would have enjoyed it more. But so Anthony and I just played it, and I honestly enjoyed it more as a 2-player game than a 3-player game myself. So I don't know if it's because we were playing with was a struggle bus as a 3-player, or if it's just actually is better as a 2-player game. I wouldn't know for sure unless we played again as a 3-player game and it flowed smoothly the way it did with Anthony and I. But we really enjoyed playing this, just us. And this is one of those games that plays well as a 2-player game. Some games are more fun if you have that 3rd player, but honestly, this is a great 2-player game in my opinion. So I would highly recommend this game. Just know your first game is going to be a little bit of a struggle, but it's totally worth it. And once you have it down, and I know when we pick this up, several months from now to play it, it won't be that hard to relearn this game. So we will put the link in the description if you want to check this game out for yourself. I think it just came out a year or so ago, a couple years ago. So, and it's beautiful. Like you said, the components are really nice. I like the little plastic diamonds that are meant to represent glass tiles. So thank you for watching. Please feel free to leave a comment or a question. We hope you'll give this video a like. If you're not already, please subscribe to our channel. We look forward to seeing you next time, and thanks again for watching.